What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Becoming a Better Man video podcast. Welcome to today's episode where we'll be talking about how to save your relationship. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's awesome. That's what I'm looking for. Or else why would you click on the video? But let's talk about the relationship that you might necessarily not realize that needs to be focused on instead of your romantic relationship. So follow along closely. Let's talk about how actually looking to Jesus can improve your relationship at home. So as a Christian, I know how important it is to have a strong relationship with God and how that can positively impact all aspects of our lives, including our romantic relationships. So in this episode, I want to be discussing with you guys 3 actionable steps that you can take to improve your relationship at home by actually looking to Jesus Christ more. So let's dive in. Step 1, die of self to live for God. The first step is to die of self to live for God. So in other words, we need to let go of our own desires, wants, and needs and submit them to God's will. This can be difficult as a concept to grasp. I know, trust me. It's actually very important, though, to remember that as Christians, our ultimate goal is to live a life that pleases God and brings him glory. One of my favorite passages that talks about this is in Galatians 2, verse 20, and it says, "I've been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I now live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me." So what this passage is saying is it's reminding us that as Christians, we must die to ourselves and allow Christ to live in us, meaning that we're putting away our own desires and our own selfish needs and ambitions and things like that. And so that way we can fully embody what it is to take on Christianity and being Christ followers, not just Christians. When we're actually able to better do this, we're more equipped and more open to be able to love others freely and serve them selflessly, including and especially talking about our romantic partners. Step 2, let go of control in your romantic relationship. The second step is to let go of control in your romantic relationship, because often we try to control our relationships, thinking that we know what's best for us and for our partners. This is hard, I know. This approach can lead to tension and conflict in our relationships, as I'm sure you've already experienced. Otherwise, why would you be listening or watching an episode about how to save your relationship? Instead, we should surrender control to God and trust him to guide our relationships. This means letting go of our own desires and submitting to God's will for our lives and our relationships. When we do this, we are better able to love our partners and serve them selflessly rather than trying to control or manipulate them. One of the favorite passages in the Bible that talks about this concept is in Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. And what it says is, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways submit to him, and he will make straight your paths." And what this is saying really is just that we should put our trust in God and submit to his will, not to our own, and not trying to go on our own understanding of the situation, what we're supposed to do, what we think is best, and trying to control that situation in our lives and relationships in such a selfish way. Step number 3, pursue a relationship with Jesus Christ. So the third and final step to pursue a relationship with Jesus Christ here is meaning that as Christians, our relationship with God should be our top priority. And this includes our romantic relationships as well. When we focus on our relationship with Jesus, we become better partners to our significant others. One of my favorite passages that talks about this is the scripture in Matthew chapter 6, verse 33, which says, "But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." And this passage talks about that when we seek God's kingdom first, right? Seek his plan, his kingdom, his glory first, that he will provide for us in all areas of our lives. And this is including our own relationships. So to sum it up, I think that by following these 3 actionable steps, you can better improve your relationship at home by actually looking to Jesus Christ more. Remember, to die of self is to live for God. Let go of control in your romantic relationship and pursue the relationship with Jesus Christ all in. By doing so, you'll become a better partner and a better Christian. So guys, I know you might be thinking, this is all easy to do, but what if she's not hearing it, right? What if she's not going to listen to it? And to that effect, I say that her reaction to it doesn't matter, in that what we're supposed to do, like what the right thing to do is, isn't contingent upon what somebody else, no matter how important they are to us as humans, what they might think, right? Because what they might be led by are their own emotions, their own set of beliefs that might not align with necessarily what is scriptural, what is God blessed. So because we're all humans, right? We sin and we fall short of the glory of God. We are not perfect in any means. And so when you're dealing with another person that is hurt, they're frustrated, they're fed up, et cetera, just thinking that you can apply these 3 things and magically everything's going to be fixed overnight is pretty foolish and naive, quite honestly. So the best advice that I can give guys in this situation is you still have a calling to do what's right. And you should be able to stay focused on that calling regardless of what her reaction might be. Right. And by doing this, you might actually be very surprised in just how impressed she will be in the changes that she notices in you. Right. Because if you're just changing how you live for God, how you lead yourself, how you take better care of yourself and your body and your family, right? If you're just doing those things in hopes that you get a specific reaction, that's manipulation, right? That is manipulating her. That's manipulating the environment and the situations in hopes that I get the outcome that I want. So if I can offer up any kind of best wisdom here, is that irrespective of the outcome, right, of this human interaction, you know what you're supposed to do, right? And by trying to get closer to God, you either get closer to your partner or you get further away from your partner. And by option B, they're getting further away from your partner. That means you're getting closer to what God has for you. So if there's any consolation in this pending breakup or, God forbid, divorce, know that you're learning something right now. You're learning something. You're meant to be in this position for a reason. So take advantage of it. Get as close to God as you can in this time and continue to stay on that path going forward, because as soon as the rain starts to clear up and the clouds start to part, you're going to start gloating yourself up a little bit, and you're going to start puffing up your chest and thinking that, I'm in control. I've got this and things are going well because of me. And you're going to get humbled again, right? Just over and over, you're going to get humbled because you're human. You're going to continue to seek your own self-aggrandizing recognition and seeking ways to try and be, recognized for how great you're doing, right? And the progress that you've made, which is great, right? Like you're supposed to make progress, but this is like congratulating somebody for doing their job, right? We want pats on the back for closing that deal. Cool. That's your job, right? So great job doing your job. This isn't to minimize the growth that you're making or the progress that you've made along the way, but it's more so along the lines of, look, guys, this is what we're supposed to do, right? This is what we're supposed to do. And to try and make a bigger deal of ourselves just because we're doing what's required of us, that's not real leadership, right? That's not leading ourselves well. And that sure as heck isn't going to be leading others well. by acting in that way. So if anything, know that regardless of the outcome, right, of what you think is supposed to happen or hope is supposed to happen, detach yourself from that relationship and radically seek Jesus, because, right, if it's for you, right, if it's God blessed, if it is one of those things that, as in all situations, God wants us to go through. I take that back. He might not necessarily want us to go through them, but knows that we need to go through them in order to fulfill the bigger picture of purpose in very complex tapestry of interwoven lives, and how we all come and go in different seasons for different reasons. But know this, and that each and every person, he desperately wants a close relationship with you, and he does with me. And that's something I've struggled with. So I hope if there's any kind of takeaway, it's one, these 3 steps, but on another level, it's to know that don't do this to try to manipulate her to get her back, right? To stop her from leaving, right? Let God deal with her, right? You deal with you, because that's all you can control. So guys, that's all I've got for this week's episode. Now, you'll notice in the show notes of the podcast episode, if you catch this on Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcasts, or if you're watching this video on YouTube right now, know that in the description, there is a link to a kind of like a link tree. So you can click that link and follow other links to another page where, one, you can either apply to work with me one-on-one privately, it's fully remote, it's all online, but it's where I coach guys through personalized growth programs, essentially, and it's focused on fitness, right? We focus on fitness because we have to start somewhere, and it's getting our body right, and it's getting our minds right, so that way we can get our spirit right and fulfill our purpose better. And in doing that, right, by gaining that strength physically, it helps us to gain spiritual and emotional and mental strength and resiliency elsewhere. So that's one aspect of it. 2, right, special that I'm running right now, and I don't know how long I'm going to do it, but I wanted to take away the price as a barrier for guys who are wanting to get involved in the 21-day Becoming a Better Man Breakthrough program. It's a self-guided course. You take yourself through it every day for 21 days. And it's 80% off right now. So I think that comes out to about like $20, right? So $20 for 21 days, that's less than $1 a day for you to get yourself unstuck, start to unlock your potential of what calling you were meant to have, right? And how to get out of your own way and better connect with God and yourself, and that version of yourself that God has designed for a reason. So I look forward to seeing you guys sign up now at a massive discount, so that way you can just go ahead and get started, right? Because it's not about the price, right? The price isn't the true barrier, but I wanted to eliminate that as an excuse. But you really have to see, guys, that you don't trust yourself. And so in order to make a change for the better, you have to believe that you're capable of sticking that change out and seeing it through. And so I hope that by eliminating 80% of the cost as a barrier, you can start to have better belief in yourself and know that, all right, the price is out of the way. Now it's just me, right? And see where you're at. See if you have what it takes to start getting unstuck, right? Unless you like complaining about being stuck in the same place over and over and over again, enough's enough, guys. Let's get unstuck. Let's get going. Let's get started on the 21-day Becoming a Better Man Breakthrough. All right, the link is in the description. Follow that link to the actual link that says 21-day Becoming a Better Man. And it talks about there's an 80% discount right now for a limited time. Get started, all right? Get started. You sign up, you'll be started the next morning in your inbox. It'll tell you exactly what to do. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, for listening, wherever it is that you're finding this video or this audio. Very thankful for you guys. And until next week, that's all I got.